Hello, everyone. It's Shane Kanto, your Wasteland Reviewer, and welcome to Lost in the Wasteland, my weekly interview show where I get to learn a little bit more about somebody else's perspective on movies. And this week, I have a former student worker and friend, Lauren Van Dyke. Thank you so much for coming on.
Of course.
Have some youthful perspectives instead of a bunch of 30-year-olds or older up on my channel. Um, But Lauren, would you like to shamelessly plug anything for the audience to check out anything?
Um, I don't think so. I mean, I have a photography portfolio, but I cannot think of the website title. So hold on, let me get it up.
Well, we could always
Um,
put it in the description
yeah,
in the video. So if anybody wants to
that
check out Lauren's work, I have seen Lauren's work and it's great. I've been a subject of Lauren's work at some point, so there you go.
yeah, I can send you the link later. It's all
There
good.
you go. Now, I always love starting off with this question because either people have like a very distinct answer. They like that's their movie, or they hate me for asking this because it's like, how can you choose one? But Lauren, what's your favorite movie?
So I have a couple. When I was like 14, I loved Divergent and Maze Runner. I was very into the whole dystopian thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then as I got older, I kind of started to realize that there's like those timeless movies like Napoleon Dynamite I can just keep watching over and over again. The Cat in the Hat. I used to watch that as a kid. I watched it, I think, every day, like four times or something, my parents said when I was like three. So and I like Easy A. That's also a timeless movie to me. You can't go wrong with it. You don't get bored. I don't know, but I love my dystopian movies. So
I was a big fan of Maze Runner books
I
when they
never
were
read
coming out.
them.
Yep.
Yeah. I really want to read them, but I haven't read them yet.
That was a very specific time for YA dystopian media between like you said, Divergent and Maze Runner.
Mhm.
Of course, Hunger Games started it
Of
all,
course.
which is
I don't
funny.
know.
Go ahead.
Sorry. I don't I feel like Hunger Games was so like overplayed, if that's the right word. Like it turned into this movie that everybody wanted to see. And I like it, but like I don't know. I like Divergent and Maze Runner because it's different. And, you
Mhm.
know, I had a crush on Dylan O'Brien, so obviously I like Maze Runner. But I don't know,
So do
Divergent,
I.
it just well, yeah, and Divergent, Theo James. I mean, come on. So, you know, it's very nice to have those attractive male leads.
Well, he's still getting work too. I remember him popping
Yeah.
up in HBO's The Time Traveler's Wife.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, oh my God, look, it's Theo James. He's still acting. Uh,
He's great.
poor Dylan O'Brien almost wasn't acting ever again after he almost
Yeah.
died
Yep.
filming Maze Runner. So, but luckily he is
It's fine.
okay.
He's good.
It's funny because Susan Collins, her first books that I read weren't Hunger Games. I
Oh,
read her
really?
Gregor the Overlander series, which I was
Oh, God.
super into. See, that would be a great thing to make some kind of movie or series about. Hop on at Disney Plus because basically they're just buying up all those properties anyway.
I'd be into it. I'll
There
try
you
it.
go. Now, Lauren, what's your earliest memory of going to the movies?
So that's a difficult one. I honestly don't remember my first time at the movies.
Mhm.
I have vivid memories of like the people at the front, like when the whole like smuggling and snacks thing became a much more important aspect of the movies, if that's the right word. I just like I remember my mom's purse getting searched, and I felt like that was super inappropriate because you're just searching a woman's purse for food. Um, and I remember seeing Maze Runner in theaters with one of my old friends. So those are probably the only memories that I have of the movies besides buying overpriced popcorn and sodas.
There you go. Well, it sounds like Maze Runner has made quite an impact on you.
It really has.
And that whole like sneaking in food, especially when you're a poor college student,
Hmm.
and can't really afford to be dumping $6 on candy,
Well,
um,
exactly.
or at least for like less than a handful of candy.
Hmm.
My friends used to make fun of me in college for wearing jean shorts.
It's so smart though.
until I could fit all their candy in my pockets.
Mm-hmm.
So
They don't get it.
I had quite a wonderful "you own me" when we went to go see Thor our freshman year all together. I'm just like, you gonna make fun of my
Well,
jean shorts anymore? You got your candy in, didn't you? So
mm-hmm.
there
You
you
didn't have to
go.
pay for it.
Now, Lauren, do you have a particular favorite genre of movies?
Yeah. I mean, horror is my top genre, but I also like
Okay.
comedy. I love horror movies. I'll pretty much watch anything as long as it's different. I'm tired of the whole haunted house and demonic thing that's coming in the house. And I just, you know, I have my specific horror movies that I really like because they're just different. So, but probably horror.
That's very fair. Um, I was just looking at rest of the release schedule doing a podcast last night, and they're getting a new Exorcist movie, getting a new Insidious
Oh, no
movie,
way.
getting a new Saw movie. Uh,
Oh,
Five Nights at Freddy's is coming out
oh my
in October,
God.
so like a lot of things coming.
That's so exciting.
As we're recording this, which will be a couple days before this comes out, I'll be watching The Boogeyman tomorrow. And I'm afraid I'm going to be all alone in that theater and it's going to scare the crap out of me because I'm a big baby.
It's
So
fine. It's fine. Oh my God, there's so many good horror movies coming out. I'm so excited.
I legitimately, this was when I first started going back to the theaters and we had our half day days off on Fridays at Ryder. And I went to go see The Night House
Hmm.
back in 2021. 400 seat theater by myself.
Oh my gosh.
I was terrified. I'm just sitting there like,
There is no one here.
I'm so not ready for this.
It's fine. Most of them aren't even scary. They're just like, oh, there's a haunted house. Okay, here's a demon. We'll just throw that one in. Like,
I'm trying to remember the first horror movie I actually saw in a theater, and it might have been Ouija Origins of Evil.
oh, Ouija's so good.
And I'm literally had my hands in front of my face because I was not okay. It was not
They're
okay that
such
day.
good movies. Oh my gosh.
Origins of Evil is great. That was, I think, the first time I really saw who Mike Flanagan was,
Mhm.
who's done like Haunting a Hill House and
Yes.
all that on Netflix. King of horror.
Hmm.
Netflix screwed up. Now he's at Amazon and they're gonna regret it. But now Lauren, do you have any particular favorite filmmakers?
Yeah, the person who created the Conjuring series, I don't want to misname anyone, but um
James Wan.
yeah, okay, that's what I
Yeah.
thought. But I love the Conjuring series. Every single movie is so good, minus like maybe two of them, but like so good. And they're scary, and I respect that because they should be. They're horror movies, not just like a jump scare or like, oh my gosh, there's someone in my car. Like, no, they're scary, which I love.
Conjuring 2 is my top three favorite horror movies.
Hmm. It's a good one.
That whole scene with the portrait of the nun and her
Yes.
shadow walking along the wall, and you know it's coming.
Hmm.
Doesn't mean you're not going to be terrified when it does. Because, like, that's like the opposite of a jump scare. It literally was in your face for like 30
What was
seconds,
happening?
just
Yeah.
building up. And I'm just like, not
Great.
okay. But, James Wan, I know it's crazy that James Wan helped make Megan, that crazy doll movie.
Megan was good too. I
Megan
mean,
was good. It should not have been, but it was
no,
a
but it
blast.
was.
But yeah, because James Wan was involved in the original Saw, created
Yeah.
the Conjuring universe. We're getting the Nun too,
I
also coming out this fall.
well, a second one? Because the nun
Yes,
just came out. Oh, I didn't even know how I felt about the first one. I mean,
I wasn't a fan.
it was okay, but like compared to The Conjuring and Annabelle, it's just not the same. I don't like the nun is scary in Conjuring, but not in the
Yes,
nun.
I honestly almost burst out laughing during the Nun because of probably the worst. line of dialogue I've ever heard in a horror movie was when the nun screams at the one character. It's like, "What will you do, Frenchman?" And he screams back, "I'm a French Canadian." And I'm just like,
Great.
I'm like, is this like an Adam Sandler movie? Like that's how the joke played off, and I'm just like, I don't think that was supposed to play up that way,
No,
but it did,
it's no.
and that's what I
I
remember most about that movie, and that's a bad sign.
yeah.
Bad sign.
It was okay. I don't know. Wouldn't watch it again, but
Well, now you can watch a second one. So
that's
there you go.
true. See how that one goes.
Now, thinking about in front of the camera, who are some of your favorite actors, actresses?
So, they're all actors. I would say De Niro, obviously. I love Tom Hanks just because he's in so many good movies. And
Mhm.
Heath Ledger, who's played obviously the best Joker. So I never really liked Joker as a character, and then I started watching all of the movies he was in, and I was like,
Mhm.
wow, like he's just such a good actor. And Tom Hanks just tells a story,
Yep.
and De Niro is just De Niro. I mean, I just watched a movie. I completely forget what it was, but I think it was a comedy. I don't know. But it's like he's so good in everything he does. Like that's
It's funny because De Niro's been doing a lot of comedies lately, like
mhm.
War with Grandpa, Dirty Grandpa.
It was Dirty Grandpa. That's what I
Was
just
that
watched.
Zac
Yeah.
Efron?
Yeah.
Yep. Where God, Aubrey Plaza asked for a Werther's original. Well,
It's
yeah,
I respect the comedy grind, you know? It's just I'm
committed.
all
That's committed.
it
He's
is.
committed to the bit.
And it's funny because comedy movies are either really bad or really good. There's usually not an in between. So I really respect that that movie's funny and you can appreciate the humor. When you watch other films, it's just like I don't laugh. I don't think
Well,
it's
that's the
funny.
thing. If you don't laugh at a comedy, it literally
What's the
didn't do its
point?
job. Just like if you
No.
don't get scared at a horror movie, it didn't do its job.
Well, exactly. And like I like independent movies a lot.
Mhm.
Just because they're so relaxed and they tell a story, but they're not overwhelming with information. So I mean I have to be in the mood to watch that. I don't be like, I want to go watch an independent movie, but like I think if a comedy isn't funny, it's more of an independent movie with no purpose, if that makes any sense. I don't know. It's just my opinion.
And the tricky thing too is everybody has a different sense of humor. So
Yeah.
like I went to go see About My Father,
Mhm.
which is very Italian. And like I'm not even the biggest fan of Sebastian Maniscalco.
Mhm.
He's very much like I'm a middle-aged Italian man, kind of joking around about stuff. But like Robert De Niro is so great in that
He's
movie.
just so good. Like I watch, I laughed the whole time. I was like, this, it was so good. From the start to the finish, it was good. That's how it
Yeah,
should be.
you have him in that, and then he's going to be in Killers of Flower Moon, Martin Scorsese,
Oh,
in the same year.
that's
So
cool.
that's range. He's been doing it a long time. It's funny. I think the first movie I remember seeing Robert De Niro in was Rocky and Bullwinkle.
Oh my God.
He was fearless leader, and it was the most ridiculous thing looking back
I love
now.
that. I love that so much.
Now, Laura, what's a film that you could literally watch every day?
I haven't really thought about it. Well, I did say that Dr. Seuss, or not Dr. Seuss, Cat in the Hat, sorry. I watched that, like I said, 4 times a day, when I was 3. Um, it has to be a comedy. I don't know. I could probably watch Napoleon Dynamite though, like every day.
Have some of your tots.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. The guy with the cows, no, the chickens, and then you don't understand what it's so good. So good. I
I I remember when that came out and all the Vote for Pedro shirts started popping up
mm-hmm.
everywhere. And I think it took me years to actually watch Napoleon Dynamite after that, but it was a thing
It
for and people just started asking you for your tots. And just like, what are you? I'm gonna make you a quesadilla, and just like
It's
I
it's
still say
just
those things.
yeah, it's I mean, my family and I all love Napoleon Dynamite, but like it's just such a good movie with so many good quotes and the characters are perfect. Pedro is an icon in that movie. It's just so good.
Mhm.
It's so like it fits my vibe because I just do whatever I want. Like I just kind of like go with the flow. And I really appreciate how all the characters in that movie do that. They just like don't care what other people think. They're doing whatever, and I love
They
it.
are all on their completely unique wavelengths of
Exactly.
humanity.
That's
Even down to
how it
like,
should be.
is that like is that his older brother or his dad? Like,
Yeah.
I don't even remember honestly.
I I
And
think
his
it's his
girlfriend
older brother.
who arrives on the
Yeah.
bus and everything,
Yes.
and just like
That was the best scene.
the most strangely um odd couple I think I've ever
But they
seen
were
in a movie.
so nice together when he got
Yeah,
to like it was hilarious. I'm like,
yeah,
"Oh my gosh, it's great." They perfect couple.
so funny. Now, what's a film that you connect with because it relates to another interest of yours?
So the first thing I thought of was the movie Motocrossed. I don't know if
Okay,
you've ever seen it. I
I have
love that
not,
movie.
but
It's about a girl who I want to say her brother, I haven't seen it in years. He gets injured or something on he's a motocross rider and he gets injured on his bike, so then she takes his place. And I think she ends up like meeting some guy or something, but he thinks that she's a guy because she is pretending to be him. But I just thought it was such a like I love that movie. Like I won't
mm,
watch it for 10 years and I'll be like, "Oh my God, remember that movie?" And then I gotta go find it and watch it. And I love that movie because I think it's really cool to see a girl doing things that most of the time guys do.
mm,
I respect any girl who does, you know, dirt bike racing or skateboarding or whatever because I grew up with all of that, as you know. So I think it's really cool to see it actually executed in a movie. Nobody talks about anything like that. And I love it because everybody's like, oh, well, you know, football's a male sport or dirt bikes are for men. And I'm like, okay, well, sure, it's male dominated, but like women can do it too.
mhm.
So I just think it's really cool that they even thought about that. I think not many people have seen that movie, but I love it so much.
I distinctly remember that movie. Like
Yeah.
I recall seeing trailers and seeing that like act remember that actually coming out. And like I'm trying to remember. Oh yeah, I'm looking at I pulled up the you know what? I definitely did actually watch this movie.
I would hope so. It's
Like
so good.
because this is like a this is a Disney Channel movie.
Is it?
It looks like yeah, motocross.
Oh my God, wait, I have to look it up.
So I definitely like that. Definitely, it came out in 2001 on Disney Channel. It definitely was
Yeah.
like that time watching all those Disney Channel movies. I definitely watched that movie. So
It's such a good movie.
I
Like,
haven't probably watched in 20 years, but I definitely
well,
did
you
watch that movie.
should, because
You know what? It's probably on Disney Plus along with
it
all
says
the
it is.
there you go.
I'm gonna be watching it tomorrow.
I'm pretty sure one of the first things I did with Disney Plus was rewatch like Halloween Town and
Oh,
Phantom of the
yeah.
Megaplex because like definitely watched those a lot when I was a kid.
I'm watching so I watch one old Disney show like at a time. So I originally started watching Sunny with a Chance. That was my show as a kid. And then I finished it and I was like I didn't really like So Random. So I watched Jonas, which not many people knew about, but it was the Jonas Brothers and it was supposed to be like just some comedy show about them. I just finished that and I've been periodically watching Hannah Montana over.
Nice.
So that doesn't include all the movies I've rewatched, but like my TV shows I watch, I try not to go crazy because then I like run out of shows to watch. So I
Fair.
watch my Disney shows in the morning. It's a good time, you know, it reminds me of my childhood when Disney Channel would be on.
Yep. Get ready for school. watching TV
Yeah,
before school.
you hear the Sunny with a Chance song on, you're like, oh, fantastic.
There you go. Now, what movie character do you connect with on a personal level?
So I wanted to say the girl from motocross, right? But I'm like, I don't ride professionally. It was just a hobby. So then I thought about Coraline, right? And I was like, I really like the movie. It's kind of creepy for a child, but like whatever, I'm not gonna get into that. But I don't know, I like how she kind of wants to get into this other like world and she thinks that
Mhm.
her life is kind of bland. And then she goes into this other strange universe. And that's not saying that I want to replace any of my family members because I don't, but I think it's just really cool to see how she wants to explore this other universe because I'm always open to kind of seeing the different. I mean, I want to travel like a lot when I get older, so I think it's really
Mhm.
cool to see
Well,
her just kind of, I don't know, exploring.
well, and I think that's an understandable universal feeling of a lot of people where it's just like, we generally are stuck in the lives that we live on a daily basis. And that certainly starts to sink in when you work full time, where you're
Um,
just like, get up, go to work, back to the grind, rinse,
yeah.
dry, repeat. And, and I think a lot of people at some point maybe have had those experiences where it's just like, I don't really fit with my family. I wish my parents were different. I've never once wished my parents had buttons for eyes.
No,
Um, or like eyes so shut.
no.
But Neil Gaiman doesn't care about the fragility of your children. So but I love Coraline. I love that so
It's such
much.
a good movie.
Leica, who
Mm.
made that film, they have some of the best animated films. Love them.
it
That
it was animated.
Paranorman.
Yeah, it was animated so well, and it honestly, I personally think it was creepy for a child, but like that's I if I were 10 years old watching that, I would be kind of mortified just because
Probably.
the button eyes and I have a fear of being chased, and I feel like there's that weird part where like he's in the big lawnmower thing. Like I would be mortified of being chased by that. And I don't like him. I don't like the way he talks. I just it's I don't know. I'm still creeped out by it, and I'm 21
Well,
years
like I
old.
said, Neil Gaiman doesn't care about
No,
how
obviously.
scared your children are. So
It's fine. It's
they're
fine.
going to learn a lesson the hard way. So, but now, what's a film that you love that you feel like might surprise people?
That surprised that I like it. Um, I think most people are surprised that I like horror movies just in general.
Mhm.
Most of my friends don't like horror movies and will not watch them with me. So, most people are like, "Oh, that's weird. Like, why would you want to purposely scare yourself?" And I'm like, because it's an awesome movie and it has a good storyline.
Mhm.
I really liked, I wouldn't say I really liked it. What was it? Goodnight Mommy or Goodbye Mommy or something. It was originally a German film and then they made it into a Americanized version or whatever. And it was it was creepy. It was cult like, and I really like the cult movies. So I don't know. I think people are usually just surprised that I like
Oh
to purposely
yeah.
scare myself.
This
Yeah,
is on
I
Amazon last year
yes.
with Naomi
Yeah.
Watts, and then it looks like it
Yeah.
was a remake of a 2014 film.
Yeah, I originally started watching the German one and it definitely seemed scarier, but I couldn't stand reading the subtitles. So or it was
Oh.
like, I don't know, there was something about it that, but it looked scarier and I was kind of frustrated.
It
So,
was looks like it's Austrian and it's in German. So yeah,
yes,
it's those Germans.
it
They
was,
have
the
it's
trailer was scary.
it's interesting watching horror films from other cultures because
Yeah.
like one Japanese horror movies or Korean
I
horror movies
saw
are
one of those.
messed up.
They're scary. What's the one with the little boy in the house? And I don't know, they made fun of it in like Scary Movie 4 or
The
something.
Ring.
Yeah, The Ring. I
Yeah.
love The Ring, but like it's like scary. Like I oh my gosh. I don't know. Those old movies though are so much scarier than today's movies. Like
I'm gonna pretend that you didn't say something from like the late '90s, early 2000s was old.
well, not that, but I mean
Uh,
like The Exorcist isn't
yes,
necessarily it's scary, but it's like a different type of scary. You know
it's
what I mean?
not a bunch of jump scares or anything, but boy, are you gonna be terrified.
Well, it's the concept of it, the whole, and I think a lot of like, I don't know. I mean, Conjuring does a good job.
Mhm.
Insidious, the first one's scary. I didn't really like the other ones, but
We're getting a new one
I
of that too.
I'll probably
Patrick
watch it, but will I like it? Probably not.
Patrick
But
Wilson apparently is directing it. So
oh, I I don't know. Like I really liked the first one, and then I got to the second one, and I was like, this is okay. It's kind of like the Cars series. You know, you have Cars, the first one, which was awesome. Cars 2 made no sense.
yeah,
Cars 3 was like
and
okay. And
yeah,
now they're making a fourth one, and I'm like, I'll watch it, but I don't know if I'm gonna like it.
but the question is, did you watch the series of
I
Mater
didn't.
and Lightning McQueen going across America? Because
I it's
that's
on
on
Disney
Disney
Plus, right?
Plus.
Yeah, I saw that on there, but I didn't watch it.
It has its moments. But I feel like the luster of the concept of Cars kind of waned after it's like we got one good movie in, and then tried to make a spy
Yeah.
movie with Larry the Cable Guy as
No,
a
it made no sense. Like, I don't even remember half of it because I wasn't really watching it. Like, it was like, they're spies, they're cars. What do you mean they're spies? Like, the first one was a racing movie. Like, I respect that, but then you turn it into some other, like, thing that cars clearly cannot do. Cars do race, not by themselves, but cars race, but then you're making them spies?
and then you're making Larry the Cable Guy the main character.
Yeah, and that like Lightning McQueen is the main character. He is the car, and then you're turning him into some side character. Like, come on. It's not even it's not no.
Moral of the story is what just because you have one good movie does not mean you should make more of them.
Exactly.
And Hollywood has not learned that. Uh, now, my last question for you, Lauren, is what do you love most about movies?
This is hard because I like different things for different genres.
That's fine.
Um, I mean, horror movies, I just like the thrill of them. I like being immersed in the scary world of whatever. Um, comedies just make my bad day better.
Hmm.
And I I mean I still do, I like independent movies, but that's just like I'm in the mood to watch an independent movie type of day. It's not like I'm gonna purposely put one on.
Well,
But
you have it's a nice thing that there's so many different kinds of movies that could do so many different things for you, right?
yeah, I mean mostly picking my horror movies and my weird psychological thrillers, but like um, like with Hannibal Lecter, so weird, but so good. Like it so good. All my serial
Ah, yes, the 20 to 40-year-old lust for true crime and serial killer
Oh,
content.
they're so good, man. They're so good. What was the one about Ted Bundy that came out a couple years ago? Like the
Uh,
Vile and Wicked something.
yep, with Zach Efron.
Yeah.
Now, like Ted Bundy is pretty moderately attractive for a serial killer. He's not Zach Efron though.
No, it's funny. I read one of my books and they were talking about Ted Bundy and they had a picture and I'm like, I would not look at this guy and be like, wow, like look at him. He's
it,
he's so attractive. I'm gonna get in his car. Like,
it's one of those kinds of things where it's just like the fact that he was more attractive than most serial killers got ballooned
mhm.
into my god, he was so attractive. And
Yeah,
then they made it worse by having Zach Efron play
I know.
him.
I'm like, Zac Efron is like up here. You don't make him a serial killer, please. Like, and honestly, I feel like it was more of an independent movie, which it was a pretty chill movie, minus the fact that he killed people, but it wasn't to the point where it was like a thriller. It was just like telling his story.
It was a Netflix movie.
Exactly. They're not going to go crazy. So, I mean, I don't know, like the movie or TV show about oh my God, the one that
Jeffrey
just came out.
Dahmer.
Jeffrey Dahmer. Loved it. Absolutely loved it. Can't wait for the John Wayne Gacy one. But like they didn't glorify him, which I liked because he's a serial killer. He killed people, you know? They didn't make him some super attractive, super like nice guy. It's just
Creepy Evan Peters.
yeah, it's just a guy. And he does such a good job at portraying a serial killer, you know?
Have you seen the film My Friend Dahmer?
I love that movie. I that has oh my God, something Lynch, Ross Lynch in it, right? Or is
I
that the new one?
I do not recall who played Jeffrey Dahmer in that, but basically the moral of the story is watch this movie. These are all the warning signs. Wake up.
Well,
Don't let said kid just wander through life and then be surprised later when he turns out to be a
well,
serial killer.
exactly. And like you read about these people and like some of them are like there's clear signs that there's going to be some type of trauma in their life, and it's unfortunate that nobody notices that and they don't try to help them. Like the one killer, I don't remember who it was, but he had like a shack that he would like keep like body parts in and stuff. And like, how did the family not know that? Like,
They probably didn't want to know, or
probably
they were
not.
in on it.
Well,
So
I don't know. Like, I think it's like I don't know. I I could tell you stories and stories about serial killers. I
so there you go. But Lauren, how I like to wrap up this show is I actually let my guest ask me a question. So surprise.
about a movie. Okay.
So what would you like to ask the Wasteland Reviewer?
Oh my gosh, putting me on the spot.
Surprise.
Um, what's one movie that you wish you had seen earlier than you actually did?
This is probably one of the fresher examples, but it really sticks out is About Time.
Okay.
And this is so I remember when About Time came out. Never really interested in checking it out because it just seemed like a rom-com. And to be honest, at that point in my life, I was poor and didn't really have a ton of money. And really, the only time I went to the movies was to see like Harry Potter and big movies like that I love, like that kind of stuff. And it kind of flew under the radar. And then over the past couple years, a lot of the writers at Sif Pop love About Time. And basically, they talked about Time and Inside by Bo Burnham. And it took me at least a year of all of them talking about these two movies for me to go check it out. I didn't pick Inside because like I watched it a year after it came out, so it's not that long. But like About Time, it took me until last year to watch it. I melted. And the thing
Really?
is, it does have rom-com elements, but what it's really about is a father and son, and it's just so sweet and endearing. And Donald Gleason's great. Love Bill Nye, who plays his dad in it. So great. Davy Jones himself. Without the tentacles. And like Rachel McAdams is great in it. And you like I was shocked, like, oh my god, Margot Robbie's in this movie.
Mhm.
For like a section of it. I'm like, oh, she was in things before Wall Street. But like About Time was definitely one of those movies where I wish that I saw that earlier because then
Yeah.
I could have enjoyed it for longer. But at
You can
least I
rewatch
watched
it.
it now. So, but yeah, that's definitely one that I just completely kind of just let go and didn't really intend on seeing. And then thanks to some of my friends, specifically Robert, and Rowan and a laundry list of other people at Sif Pop were just like, you should check this out. And I did it for Rowan the Wasteland, one of my podcasts. So it gave me a reason to check it out. And it's a great movie.
I've never seen it, so now I have to watch it. I just got a whole
See, I
synopsis
just
of it, so
passed it all along to you.
yeah, I'll check it out. I mean, Margot
And
Robbie is great, but as you said, I only know her from Wolf of Wall Street and oh my gosh, that other
Harley
one,
Quinn.
Harley Quinn. Those
Yeah.
are so good.
She's so great in I, Tonya, that movie about
Yes.
Tonya Hart. Oh,
Yes.
love that.
She
She's great.
I'm so excited for the Barbie movie. Like she's the
I
perfect Barbie. I can't wait. Like
a couple of my friends, Robert and Foster from Sif Pop, we've been messaging in Slack all day trying to plan our Barbenheimer double feature of Barbie and Oppenheimer that's coming out on the same day, 7/21/23.
that's
Which
awesome.
burned in my brain thanks to the Oppenheimer marketing. So thank you. But Lauren, thank you so much for coming on and
Of
chatting movies with
course.
me.
Thank you for having me. This was fun.
It was fun. And
Yeah.
thank all of you out there for always tuning in and supporting your Wasteland Reviewer.